Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the finale of Season 1 of the F1 2020 McLaren Driver Career Mode. Yes, we've finally made it to Abu Dhabi after what has been a truly incredible season here from the McLaren RTG. Obviously, if you missed out on the last video back from Brazil, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. It was quite an exciting race, a drag race to the finish. What more can I say with spoilers obviously coming in 3, 2, 1 now. So yeah, last time out though in the Brazilian Grand Prix, we finished second place there in a drag race to the line with Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton still trying to close points down though. We've got an 18-point gap heading into the finale here today. So all we need is 6th place and we will finish runner-up in the World Championship here. Obviously, I'd like to finish the season with another podium. We've had a 3-podium streak in the last few races. Really, all season long, we've been very consistent. As you can see, we've had a 9th place and 8th place, and then pretty much everything else has been 6th or higher throughout the entirety of the season. We've scored points in every single Grand Prix, which I think only Valtteri Bottas can also claim over the course of this season as well. They're having a quick flick down the order. But yeah, final race of Season 1. Obviously, Season 2 will be coming very soon as well, obviously, where we aim to now try and challenge the Mercedes for the World Championship. But one last time, though, this season, let's do this thing. Here we are then, the final one-shot qualifying session of the year here in Abu Dhabi, and what a season it has been in the McLaren Driver Career Mode. Obviously, we've had some ups, we've had some downs, but honestly, I'd argue this is probably the strongest season we've had in any F1 game ever, perhaps, in terms of just getting the most out of the car week in, week out. You know, this car has been so good as well. It's been such a good all-rounder, especially from sort of Silverstone onwards, I like to say, was sort of the McLaren MCL 36-2, I don't really know. But yeah, anyway, let's dive in then here for Abu Dhabi qualifying. Obviously, this is normally a track where Mercedes, they just like to show people how OP they're going to be at the start of the next season. You know, they sort of give you a bit of a early preview of what they're going to be like next year. So obviously, we'll wait and see if that is the same here today. Now, obviously, this track as well, curbs, you've basically just got to eat for breakfast nowadays. You know, it's all about just trying to get as much curb as you possibly can through the corners there, as you can already see. I think that's Bottas in the lead there, just at about half a car's length over myself as we head down in towards Sector 2 there. Make sure we get a good run out of the hairpin. But so far, very tightly bunched up. The Hamilton now moves himself up into the current lead of this qualifying session there, as he's got a good couple of car lengths over me. The top end speed of that Mercedes does seem very good, but we're pretty much matching him as we head down into the chicane at the middle of the back straightaway there. A big lock up on the way in, but we do manage to hit the apex still and get fairly respectable traction on the exit here. Still sat in P4 at the moment, as I'm going to guess it's Verstappen, who's just quicker than us at the moment. He's normally sort of myself and Verstappen. Second half of this season have been sort of the guys that have been able to take some sort of fight to Mercedes here. But anyway, down in towards Sector 3 now. Like I said, you've really got to, again, try and take as much curb as you dare in pretty much every possible opportunity at the moment. Get the car slowed down, or we're running a bit deep through there, but it's allowed us to open up the run under the hotel just a little bit more. Just 2 more corners to go of this lap. It's been fairly hooked up, it's been fairly tidy, and we're still fairly close to that pole position. Through the final corner, I think Bottas is going to take it. We, though, are going to be not far off, but only P4 at the end of qualifying there, so a very tight qualifying session between the top guys there. Yeah, I think we were at most about a 10th off Valtteri Bottas on that lap. Where is it going to leave us, though?
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Hamilton and Lando Norris. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So very surprising there to see Lando Norris actually 3rd place behind the Mercedes there. I thought, yeah, it was going to be Max Verstappen, but he was another 3/10 off myself. So if that isn't the definition of McLaren are ready to fight with Mercedes week in, week out there, we have definitely got some good one-lap pace in the car there. A 10.5 separating the top 4 on the grid there. Verstappen, both Ferraris, both racing points even, and then Esteban Ocon rounds out the top 10 with Alexander Albon P12 on the grid there. Not what he needs, ready for next season. But yeah, the Williams still at the rear of the field as well. But let's dive in then here to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. It's a race where the pole sitter failed to finish in 3 of the first 4 events. A front row start here is by no means a guarantee of victory, so we go into battle once more as we get underway at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the Yas Marina circuit, just over 3.4 miles long with 21 corners and 2 very long back straights. There are 2 DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 8 and turn 11 and offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners as well, in particular 15, 16 and 17, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Mr. Monaco, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Perez, Stroll, Ocon and Daniel Kvyat, Albon, Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly and Giovinazzi, Verstappen, Magnussen, Romain Grosjean and Kimi Raikkonen, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
This is the final race of the season. Go out there and enjoy it.
So here we are then, we've made it all the way to Abu Dhabi. The World Championship might be wrapped up, but there is still plenty to play for in this final Grand Prix of the season there. Verstappen with grid penalties as well, starting further down the order. That is perfect for our teammate Lando Norris, who is still looking to try and wrap up P5 in the Drivers' World Championship. The battle between Ricciardo and Albon as well, for I think it's 10th place overall, must be 9th place overall if I'm not mistaken. Still very, very close and competitive as well here. But for us, we just need a good solid finish. We're not going to try and take too many risks, but of course you want to finish the season with a win nonetheless there. We don't need that much spare fuel in the car. I'm going to put 15.5 laps worth in, just obviously we've got a bit to push with if need be as well. But 6 laps on the softs and then go to the end on the mediums, a fairly sort of standard strategy. But for one final time in Season 1, let's get ready on the grid then here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Bottas on pole, 3 Brits just behind him, 5 red lights, and it's the lights out and away we go then. No hold whatsoever, as I do not react well to the lights, but we do get it fairly hooked up nonetheless. Down in towards turn 1, don't really want Charles Leclerc getting in the way of us there. Let's look at that. Lando Norris tries to have a look around the outside of Hamilton then. The Mercedes man really defending his position from our teammate as we head down in towards Sector 2 for the first time in this Grand Prix. Both Ferraris as well battling out right behind us. We've got 2 Mercs, 2 McLarens, 2 Ferraris, and then 2 Racing Points making up the top 8 on the grid here in Yas Marina. It very much seems to be a track that teammates are close in performance to. Obviously everyone trying to get one last chance to prove themselves at the end of the season there. But a clean start for ourselves, not a particularly brilliant one, as we head down into the chicane for the first time, making some big inroads on our teammate Lando Norris through there though. Can we try and get good traction on the exit? This is normally a track for the AI very, very strong as well at here, so we'll wait and see as to what we can do relative to Lando Norris over the course of this Grand Prix. Normally, he has been overshadowed by ourselves over the course of the season, but he has been putting in a good graft as well, consistent, and obviously earning a lot of R&D points as well, which is always nice to see. End of lap 1 though, we're coming towards the end of lap 1, I should say. Bottas still looking comfortable in the lead of the Grand Prix like he's spent so much of this season doing as well. Hamilton still just in P2, Lando Norris 3rd ahead of myself, Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc, and then the Racing Points. Oh no, one of the Renaults actually, I think that must be Esteban Ocon, actually splits the Racing Points by the end of lap 1, but now we try and settle down into a good groove. Something very much seems to have clicked for Lando Norris in this final race of the season. Like I said, we've spent a lot of the year sort of overshadowing him, but here at Abu Dhabi, I feel like at the moment we're struggling to keep up with our teammate, never mind sort of feel like we're stuck behind him. Hamilton new fastest lap of the Grand Prix as the Mercedes slowly trying to just build up a bit of a margin. Like I said, this is normally a race where Mercedes sort of just unleash everything once more. and show the other teams what they're capable of doing in Formula 1. Like I said, a bit of a preview ready for the next season to come in recent years. But Lando and I, if this is a preview for next year, we're sticking with them, and that is a very, very good sign. Obviously, like I said, we want to take the fight to Mercedes from day one next year. Obviously, a couple of small rule changes might change things up a little bit. So we've got yellow flags out. Who is that that's going to be falling to the wayside? I think, is it? Who is it? I think it's the Haas and Magnussen. There we go. At the Grand Prix. Oh my.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing
And
if it takes
trying
too
to
much
spot that
damage.
has
Strategy
made
is
me do
available.
a catastrophic boo-boo. We're going to have to dive into the pits at the end of this one. And not quite how I wanted this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to go. We're going to have to, yeah, like I said, dive into the pits, go on to those softs very, very early here and really just try and drag them out to the finish. But that was a woeful mistake by myself. Trying to look at who was at the Grand Prix. We should have been concentrating on the road. Coming down in towards the pit lane then, and that really does open it up as well for Lewis Hamilton in this Grand Prix. However, he does need a win if he wants to have any chance of getting that second place back in the championship as well. Obviously, I know reliability has pretty much gifted me the opportunity of P2 at the moment. But yeah, obviously the first car into the pit lane as well. Hopefully we'll have some clear air, but not a great start here in Abu Dhabi. 8.7 second stop as well isn't ideal. We might need to have a look at trying to get some perks ready for Season 2 there. But yeah, we are going to come out nice and cleanly at the rear of the field. And one of the best things about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix circuit is, of course, this pit lane. And we're now not going to see it again. Hopefully, we're not going to see it again in this race. On to lap 5 though. We are taking, obviously, a huge chunk of time out of the Williams at the moment. I'm just hoping we sort of close it to the back of them when they dive it down into the pit lane here, but still struggling actually to get the car slowed down into turn 8 there. Not ideal at the moment, but I'm not giving up just yet. Obviously, we only need, what, 10th place if Hamilton finishes P2, and we do still get that second place overall. But yeah, I always want to finish the season on a high, but I don't think today's going to be that day, unfortunately. That's the way Formula 1 goes sometimes. New fastest lap at least, so we're still setting decent pace at the moment. That's always nice. Got to give the other guys up the road something to think about. Coming to the end of lap 6, we're going to start seeing our first few pitters in this Grand Prix, hopefully. Latifi is also going to be one of them here. No, Russell dives in. So we're now going to have to sit behind Latifi through the final corner. We can't really afford to spend any time behind him as we get a huge chunk of wheel spin out of the final corner here. But we can't go for a move down in towards turn 1. Just the Williams so slow through that corner there. We are going to come out very, very close to Sebastian Vettel, who does bail out. Oh my!
That was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
We flipped it! How on earth have we managed that? Sebastian Vettel comes out the pit lane and takes a swipe at us, I feel like, in that moment. Let's have a look at this again. So you see Sebastian comes back out, and just out of miscommunication, we get drawn together. And we flipped the car in the final race of the season. Now, obviously, you guys know me in this series. We refuse to use rewinds at any point. But I was not expecting, after such a brilliant season, for things to end up like that right at the very end there. Let's have a look at this from the off-board. You just see coming through. Seb is still turning in on us, just as obviously we start to drift wide on the exit of the corner there. And just a tiny bit of contact sends us completely going in the other direction there, straight into the outside wall. And, well, one of the wheels, I think, gets dug under. You can see the car flip straight up into the air so violently. And, yeah, one of the wheels gets stuck underneath and completely sends us over the top. And, well, it's not the way we wanted to finish the season. Dramatic start, just like Nico Hülkenberg did in last year's Grand Prix. But that is us out here in Abu Dhabi. I can't believe it. After such a brilliant season all the time, it's all come to an end here in Abu Dhabi.
It's been a roller coaster season then, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, I honestly don't know how to feel about that one at the end of the day there. 2 DNFs we've had inside the last week in the F1 career modes here. Obviously, Singapore in the My Team series, unfortunately, we just made a small misjudgment. Clipped the inside wall at Singapore, a very, very easy mistake to make. But this time round, a lot more dramatic fashion to finish off the season there. And yeah, a bit gutted that we weren't able to finish with a much stronger result. But thank God, Lando Norris saved us P2 in the Drivers' World Championship by splitting the Mercedes at the end of the Grand Prix there. So Hamilton did only score 15 points at the end of the day there. Charles Leclerc in 4th place ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Alexander Albon there, Sergio Perez, Verstappen, Stroll and Ricciardo rounding out the top 10 there ahead of both Alpha Tauris there. Esteban Ocon down in 13th place ahead of Giovinazzi, George Russell, Romain Grosjean, Kimi Räikkönen, Latifi, and then myself and K-Mag both not making it to the checkered flag there. But in terms then of the World Championship, it made it look even easier for Valtteri Bottas at the end of the day. They're 121 points clear at the top of the standings there. 415 points to my 294. Hamilton, though, 3 points back at the end of the season there on 291. What a battle it's been between myself and the Mercedes man there. As Lando as well, P5 at the end of the day. He did sneak it from Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel come the end of the season there. By far and away his best season in Formula 1 there, just behind Charles Leclerc there. Yeah, Seb in 6th ahead of Max Verstappen there. And Albon did come home P8 overall in probably what looks like a much better season for himself than it really was at the end of the day there. Ricciardo in 9th ahead of both racing points of Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll in 10th and 11th there. Both Alfa Romeos 12th and 13th having a very, very good season in the end with good points early on there. Ahead of Kvyat, Esteban Ocon, a torrid season, just 7 points there relative to Ricciardo's 114. Does not look good for him. Gasly in 16th, ahead of both Haskars with 1 point apiece. George Russell and Latifi there, neither of them able to get out of the starting blocks there. But constructors-wise, though, Mercedes 706 points there, 204 clear of myself and Lando Norris there, and 502. They're happy we broke the 500 barrier, but yeah, next season there is a lot of work that needs to be done there. Ferrari 455 ahead of Red Bull, Renault, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Haas, and of course Williams rounding out the finishes there in 10th place as well there. But yeah, that is season 1 then, completed from the My Team career, from the McLaren driver career mode. Why can't I get the names right here today? I'm still feeling a little bit spinny from that flip earlier on there. But thank you all so much for the continued support on this series as well on the channel on the whole there. Like I said, a bit of a gutting way to finish this season, but like I said, we do not use rewinds in this series whatsoever. What happens is what happens at the end of the day there. So yeah, a bit gutted, but that's Formula 1 at the end of the day there, and I was still happy we were able to clutch up and finish P2 in the Drivers' World Championship nonetheless there. But yeah, we will be back very, very soon for Season 3. I'm going to try and get a fair bit of the My Team career mode, obviously from Russia onwards, out before, and we're probably going to aim to start this season next weekend is sort of my plan of action at the moment. So obviously, if you're not already, make sure you do get yourself subscribed, leave a like as well if you have enjoyed this season. And yeah, we will be back very, very soon, ready for Season 2. This time round, we go for the crown, we go for the World Championship. You guys do not want to miss it. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.